All right. We are back at it. We are at the Grit Won't Quit podcast in Belmar, and we have a very special guest on. We have a guy who calls himself the solar guy, and we have Albie on today. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. So you've been the solar guy for how long?
About 4 years.
And you love it?
Absolutely do love it.
What got you into solar?
Well, I've been in sales for 30 years. I actually have a friend of mine who has been in it for 10 years, and I went through a couple sales journeys. I was at I actually worked for Optimum. If you guys, I think that's the cable provider out here.
Sure.
Okay. So I did that for almost 4 years back in 2012.
Did you like that?
I liked the first 2 years because it was interesting. It was door-to-door sales.
Residential? Or
Residential. And when I first approached that opportunity, it was like, well, I have phone, internet, and TV in my house. I think I could sell phone, internet, TV for somebody else. And we had incentives, we have gift cards, stuff like that. And so I liked it, and I met one of the salespeople, which I still kept in touch with to today. And the last job I was at was Comcast Business out of Cherry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Great opportunity there, and I got laid off at that at the end, and I'm like, I need to find a new opportunity. And I reached out to him, and he kept telling me solar was a great thing to do. I didn't know anything about solar. I said, you know what? I get to be back in the residential field, talk to homeowners, and let's give it a shot. I think I could do well if I learn. And he told me about it, and that's when the journey started. And it's pretty simple because everybody has an electric bill. So I was like, okay, it's not something, you're not giving them something they don't already have. So I felt it was something new to try out.
Good. Yeah, obviously in solar, it's not I'm sure it's a difficult game, just like anywhere in sales, right? What has been some of the biggest lessons you've learned so far becoming a solar sales guy in this industry?
Just be patient, be understanding, listen. Don't try to sell, just try to educate. And that's what I try to do, to say, look, before you say yes or no to solar, know what you're saying yes or no to. And you need to have all the facts, you need to have all the information before you can make an educated decision. And that's how I approach the homeowners. And I say, look, I'm not here to sell you, I'm not here to push you, I'm here to educate. And then you make the decision what's best for you and your family.
It makes complete sense. Obviously, we know you through networking groups and meeting you through other people we've had on the podcast here.
You're like the ultimate networker.
Yeah, you really are, man.
I just talk to people, just try to get exposure for my business, for my colleagues. I know a lot of people that are out networking, and I just want to help them out.
What is it about networking, though, that attracts you? I think a lot of people have different avenues in the way they want to grow their sales, but networking just seems to be the key for you.
Well, it's easy because most people in solar are knocking doors and cold calling, and I don't want to do either. Plus, it's very cold today, so I don't want to be doing that. So I figured, you know what? I've been in sales for 30 years. Let me get around like-minded people. Let me get around potential power partners that can help me, and obviously I can help them. So that's
Power partner. I like that.
Power partner, yes. So I hate this. Since we're on here, I'm going to be very transparent. I did mortgages for 12 years before 2008, and whatever happened. If you were in that business, you understand. I'm trying to build relationships with realtors, trying to build relationships with mortgage professionals, and for some reason, I'm missing the boat with those guys. I don't understand why they're not getting it, but it is what it is. However, insurance agents have been gold for me. So I speak to them for a couple of reasons. Number one, and I've heard this, networking the last 6 months that, insurance companies are sending out drones to people's houses. They're inspecting their roof. Then they send them a letter saying, hey, your roof is old, or we don't like it. You got to replace it, or we're going to drop you as a client. So what happens to the homeowner is, oh my God, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go. I don't have any money. Who do I trust? So insurance agents are valuable because they're aware when their clients are getting a letter to say, hey, you got to get a new roof. So some of the last couple deals I've done have been new roof, solar, no money out of pocket, fixed payment, and we save homeowners a lot of money. On average, we're saving about $30,000 to $40,000 over the next 25 years.
Who's doing the roofs?
Sunny Mac has a roofing division, so we use Owens Corning, top-tier manufacturer. Comes with a 50-year warranty, and the other good incentive is they get about 6 or 7 different colors to pick from. So if you got crappy brown and you're tired of looking at that, you get a couple opportunities to change that. Plus, the roof install is only a one-day job. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, hey, we're going to have a dumpster in front of your house for 3 weeks. It doesn't work like that.
So Sunny Mac is now in the roofing business, they're cleaning up these roofs.
Yep.
And then they're installing the solar on
Yes.
top of it.
Well, there's three things that we do. We do solar, obviously, for homeowners. We can incorporate a new roof, and if we can also incorporate tree removal if needed. If it makes sense and it's one or two trees, great. If there's 50 trees, that's not going to happen. But we kind of know who we can and can't help.
Sure.
In Sunny Mac, I mean, Sunny Mac is the company you work for.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about the company itself.
Sunny Mac has been doing solar since 2012. They've done over 15,000 installations.
Did you sell 14,900?
No, it wasn't me. I've done a little part of that. But in our territories, New Jersey, PA, Delaware, and Maryland, I focus primarily on New Jersey because there's a lot of opportunity here to help people. We can also provide a lease. We can provide financing if they want to own the system.
Do most people finance or do they lease them?
Believe it or not, probably 80% of my clients are doing the lease, and there's a couple reasons for that. Number one is they get a fixed payment. They're going to avoid rate increases. They don't get a federal or state incentive when they lease the system. However, after 5 years, the solar bank is actually going to give them the option to buy the system, and at that point, if they decide to do that, they'll get the last 10 years of the state incentive, which can be thousands of dollars to them. So
Yeah, sure.
It's a great opportunity for them.
You said solar bank. What's a solar bank?
Well, that is Sonova. That's the one who provides the financing, whether they're getting a loan to buy the system or they're doing the lease to lease the system.
And if I wanted to get a solar today, I mean, what's the requirements for?
Very simple. You need to be a homeowner. You need to be on the deed, and I need a copy of the most recent electric bill. So if you've been there over 12 months, we look at the last 12-month history on your bill. I send it to my design team. We build a design usually within a couple hours, and then I reach out to the homeowner and put the numbers together and see if it makes sense for them.
For most people, does it make sense?
I'd say for the most part, yes. But I'll give you my small process. As soon as I talk to somebody who's interested, the first thing I do is I go to Google Maps. I look at the address on satellite view, and if I can't see your house, it means there's too many trees. And unfortunately, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, your house is not conducive for solar, so there's not much we can do there. However, if I think it's a good roof, I think there's opportunity, we'll proceed. Again, the only thing I need up front is their electric bill, and there's no upfront investment. They don't need to worry about putting a down payment or any sizable amount of money out of their pocket, so they don't have to do that.
So it's nice and easy for them.
It's a very simple process. I mean, I'm the quarterback on the process. There'll also be assigned a project manager who's going to answer their questions and handle, the back end stuff, because we have to deal with the utility company, we have to deal with the township, we got to get permits. So there's a couple things behind the scenes that has to be done, but I'm the one that's going to lead the charge.
Now, solar guys don't always have the best name out there.
Well, it's like anything. It's like realtors, mortgage people, car salesmen. It's all about who you deal with.
Mm-hmm.
If you deal with people that just started a week ago, or if you deal with people that have experience, I tell people go to my website, look at my Google reviews.
How many Google reviews you got now?
I have about, 40.
Nice.
It should be a lot higher, but I'm working on getting those. So, it's work in progress.
I know a guy if you need him.
That's good. But yeah, like I said, I've been in sales 30 years. I've sold water conditioners, vacuum cleaners. I did mortgages for 12 years. I did telecom for 11 years. And it's all about the same thing. You have to know your product. You have to understand your client. You got to want to communicate with them and, overcome their objections.
What's a piece of advice you give to somebody who wants to step into the world of solar and start selling? If today's day one, what would be your advice to your day one self?
Well, that's funny you brought that up. So one of the things there's actually like 3 steps. For me, it's obviously I provide solar for homeowners. I also have a donation program. If you know somebody who runs a nonprofit, church, charity that's looking to find ways to raise money, I have a great donation program. Then I have a referral program, which when you mentioned somebody that would like to come work, I would be their mentor. I would help them with anything. If they want to do this 1 hour a week, 1 day a week, however their schedule is, I will give them the keys to success. And if they're willing to follow them, great things are going to happen.
Awesome. Well, without giving us all the secrets, what's one piece of the key of success for them?
Persistence. Don't give up. If you knock on a door and they don't answer, come back. If someone says no, ask them if there's something that you could do better. I mean, you want every interaction's a learning. You learn from it. So it's what you take from it.
Tom, I think you would agree too. I mean, persistency is key for everything, right? I mean, sometimes you bring an idea to somebody's mind, but it's not the first thing they want, right? So
that happens all the time. So I've had, and what I tell people is, and this happens almost every week. I'll get somebody that says, you know what, we're not ready, or it's, Christmas is here, or, we don't know what we're going to stay here. I'll say, I'll tell you what, can I reach out to you in 6 months, see if things have changed, and just follow up?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it. I'm not pushing, because before you know it, it'll be 6 months. Hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing? Just following up. Want to see if this is a better time to talk to you.
I think one thing you said, but it kind of plays into it. Rookie salespeople
Yes.
don't have enough in their pipeline.
Yes.
So they annoy customers or prospective customers, leads, let's call them,
Yeah.
because they don't have enough in their pipeline and they need that customer. So they almost sound desperate and like you don't want to end up doing business with
Yes.
them because they sound so desperate that they need today's sale versus you who comes back and says with a great rebuttal, hey, can I reach back out to you in 6 months? Now, ultimately, of course, you want to do the deal now, but you have enough in your pipeline, you have enough people that you're talking to, enough relationships you've built that sale that doesn't need to go today. Although you'd like it to go today, it doesn't have to go today. And in 6 months, they're more likely to do business with you than that pushy salesman that's like trying to push to get it over the goal line today.
That's absolutely correct. And what I tell people is, you know what? If you want to be in sales, I don't need your resume. I can just have a 30-minute conversation, whether it's a Zoom, in person, whatever, and say, look, if you're serious about making money, helping people, and you're coachable, and you can be helped, and you're open-minded, and you have the right attitude, is it an easy journey? No, but anything that's worth having is not easy. So if you want to grow, and again, you want me to be your mentor, I will do that, just as my manager did for me. I mean, it's funny, the first 6 months I got into solar, he did all my presentations for me for the first 6 months because I didn't understand it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not one of those people that takes a book and say, hey, give me a big dictionary and I can go through it. No, I'm visual, so I have to see what is going on. And I learn every interaction, every meeting, every presentation, I learned something and I picked up something. So now I feel confident that, hey, I can approach pretty much any situation. Obviously, if there's a question I can't answer, I'll come back to that. But other than that, I feel confident I can,
So he
navigate
invested 6 months of time in you.
Well, plus, he's always a phone call away.
Yep.
So it's like, and you don't always have this kind of support.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, oh, what have you been doing? How many calls did you make? No, it's not like that. It's like, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? Because helping him helps me, helps the team. And I have the same mindset. So I'm looking for, 2 or 3 solid people. And I don't care what your age is. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you sweep floors for a living. It doesn't matter. If you have the drive and you're hungry and you're motivated, let's do it. Let's get it done.
I agree. That's awesome. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in, like, I think Tom hits it, right, trying to complete the goal instead of enjoying the journey, the process. What has been one of your points where you've enjoyed the journey, whether it was tough, but you still got through it and it made you a better person at what you do today?
Well, the funny part is I get excited when I submit a request for design and I get an email. And the first thing I do is I click on the email. I say, what percentage of the electric bill can I cover? And if it says 100% or more, I'm ecstatic. I'm like, wow, I can't wait to put this deal together. Can't wait to get on the phone with this guy, and do either most of my presentations are on Zoom first.
Mm-hmm.
After that's done and they like it, then I'll come to their house and we'll go over. Then I don't care if you're 2 hours away. If I have to come to your house and meet you and build more rapport and just make you feel comfortable, I will definitely do that. It just saying, hey, can I help this person? And if I can't, I'll tell them, hey, look, I wish I could have helped you. I'll give you some tips to try to alleviate what's going on here, but unfortunately your house is not conducive for solar. I'm not going to sit here and waste your time or mine, but let's see. If we can help you, we will. If we can't, just move on.
What percentage of people you think that houses are conducive for solar?
Well, that's a tough number because there's millions of homeowners out there. At least half we can help. And again, like I said, our bread and butter is going to be single-family homes. We can help out people that live in townhouses if the association allows it. We can do, what do you call it, semi-attached. Mm-hmm. But the problem with them and townhouses, you have limited roof space.
Sure.
So I may still be able to cover maybe 40 to 50% of their electric bill. But again, saving money is the goal, and showing them how to avoid rate increases, and that's really going to build value.
You had mentioned that rate increases have gone up.
Yes.
What have they gone up since like 21?
Well, since 2021, the cost of electricity is going up 25%. The last rate increase was June 1st for Atlantic City Electric. That was 4.9%. PSE&G was 6.2%. And the biggest offender was JCP&L, which was 8.6%. However, Atlantic City Electric just put in for a 8% rate increase back on November 21st. And I just got word today that PSE&G's put in for a 7% rate increase. And understand, nationwide, the national average is your rate's going up minimum 4% a year. And every single one of these utility titans has exceeded that number. And you have to understand there's a couple reasons for it. Number one is the more people that go solar, that's less revenue for them. You know, they are not a nonprofit. They answer to shareholders. So they got to make money.
Yep.
So if you went solar, they're not making as much money off you as they would like. So they're going to go after anybody who doesn't have solar. And again, it's just part of business. They got to make money, but doesn't mean their problem has to be your problem if you qualify for solar.
I like it. And some people who obviously you said can be over 100%
Yes.
of your coverage. What does the additional amount do for them? What does that mean?
Well, normally what happens is you only have to pay your customer service charge to the electric company. That could be $5, $6, $7 a month because you're still tied to the grid and they still come out and read your meter. But again, like I said, going solar, there's a lot of great benefits to it. I'll give you, off the topic subject is, back in 1993, a gallon of gas was $1.11. Guess what? Gas is not $1.11 anymore. It's more than tripled in price. So that's usually my easy example to say, hey, look, you see how that's changed? Well, electricity's changed too. And my thing is, imagine if you can lock in your price and your payment stays flat for 25 years versus your electric company going up every 6 months. So my thing is, if you're open-minded and you're educated and you want to learn and take advantage of these benefits, why not?
I think sometimes sales seems almost as your own business, right? I mean, you have to be educated.
Yes.
You have to be consistent, persistent, right? What would be your keys to success to being a good salesperson?
That's a great question, and it's an easy question. For me, it's a no-brainer. It's being punctual, right mindset, right attitude, love what you do. I love doing this. And, I just turned 53 and I'm like, you know what? I'll do this forever. Even if I'm quote unquote retired, I'm still doing this 3 days a week because it's a phenomenal opportunity. I mean, if I'm able to one day have a good sales team that I don't have to, I can manage slightly, that would be the goal. But I enjoy it. You got to love what you do. That's the start of it. But I want to help people.
On a Monday morning, what's your feeling?
Excited.
Let's go.
It's a new day. The sun is out. It's not raining.
Even if it is raining, you still have to.
You know what? God gave you life for another day, so make the most of it. And it's all. It doesn't matter what happens, good or bad. It's about how you approach and how you handle it. So for me, it's like, all right, well, let me go through all my potential opportunities. Let me see who I have to call. Let me see who I have to text. Let me see who I have to email. By the way, I'm also reaching out to people I've gotten business cards from the last 2 weeks. Hey, let's set up a one-to-one. Let's do a phone call, a Zoom, because I can't meet you in person all the time because time management is vital. We only have so much time, and we have to maximize it.
Absolutely. So you love Mondays.
I love Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's awesome.
All right. And on time management.
Yes.
So you do a lot of networking.
Yes.
And you'll go to networking anywhere within the hour.
Within an hour, I'll drive if it makes sense. Most of it, like I'm a BNI member. I'm going to plug my BNI chapter. I'm out of the Mount Laurel Regional chapter. We have 45 members, great people in there. And the goal is for me is to, bring people that see the value in what we do. We just had our Christmas party last week, and I got an award for the most visitors, most referrals, and perfect attendance, which means I didn't miss any meetings. We meet once a month. We meet once a month in person, and the rest of the meetings are on Zoom. So we meet every Thursday at 7:30 in the morning. So I didn't miss any meetings. And
that's awesome.
Well, you know what? You get up and show up. So
you're a show-up kind of guy.
Well, you try. I mean, I'm not saying there's not things I can't learn still. I mean, you'll learn a lot you're learning something every day.
Sure.
And you try to pick up, tips and tricks from other people in the industry or people in sales in general that want to help you. So, but yeah. So, like I said, I love what I do. I love helping people out and just trying to grow my sales team.
What was, I guess, your greatest lesson? I know in every business and every job, there's always a pain point. And I feel like sometimes we don't talk about that enough because we try to push that underway. But it's a part of who we are and making us successful. What was your pain point in your journey?
When I first got started, I was in a different BNI chapter. Great chapter, great people. It was in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, and I don't like to disparage any company, but unfortunately, one of the largest utility companies in Pennsylvania was very difficult to work with. It made it sound like as if they didn't want to do solar. And I should have learned early on that I should just focus on New Jersey because that's where the gold is and that's where I stay now. Even there was also a large solar company that left Pennsylvania, and I should have said, well, you know what? They left for a reason.
Yep.
You know, if they felt there was no value staying here, I'm not saying there's no value in Pennsylvania. There is. You know, if there's someone has PPL or Med Ed, still love to help them out. But the other company just very difficult to deal with. So my manager says, "Why are you in Pennsylvania? Stay in Jersey." I said, "Okay." So it took me 2 years to figure that lesson out, but you live and learn. But now I know.
That's awesome.
That's a good lesson though. And again, you don't want to waste time where you're not going to make the same inroads as in other areas.
Yeah, we only have a certain amount of time. You know, I'm not 21 anymore. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I still hustle like a 21-year-old.
That'll never change.
Well, again, it's just you have the drive. You
It's
know,
in your DNA.
I love sales. I mean, I got into it back in I think 1994. I was at a company called Associates Financial, and I was there as a quote unquote sales rep, and I was help people with personal loans. They're like, hey, if you add on disability insurance, we'll pay you more money. So I said, if I do more, you'll pay me more? He says, yes. And I was instantly hooked into sales. As soon as I know I get rewarded for my efforts. So that really stuck with me.
What are some of your goals for 2025?
To build a bigger sales team. Like I said, if I can add 2 to 3 solid people. Again, I don't need your resume. I just need your mindset and your attitude. Connect with more insurance agents that do home and auto because, again, they've been great. Try to connect with some real estate team leaders and real estate brokers to educate their agents of the benefits and the power of solar, how it can help their homeowners out. Because no matter what happens today, someone's going to go solar. You want to make sure if it's your client that they're getting the right advice, the right deal, saving the most money and maximizing the benefits. And also that a phone call's returned. You know, I do, and not to get off the subject, but I've actually networked and I've had people that I've sent out. I've called them, left voicemails, sent them an email. They didn't respond. I'm like, well, if you can't have the courtesy to respond to me, then I can't refer to you. And that's a rule that's never going to be broken.
Good thing I responded to him.
You're great with responding. So, and I give people, it's like baseball. I give them 3 chances. Strike 1,
3
strike
strikes
2,
you're out in the old ball
like, you know what?
game.
If I have to chase you, then I can't. Look, we all deal with things. We all have issues. That's fine. But everybody has a cell phone. Everybody texts for the most part. Everybody's on Facebook or TikTok or God knows what. So, maybe you didn't find talking to me is valuable. Then okay, then don't come to networking events because you're wasting everyone's time.
Yep.
But
I
that
understand.
end of rant.
Mic dropped.
Yeah, mic drop. There you go.
So this is great. I think you're an outstanding networker.
Thank you.
I think you definitely have the right mindset on the business and sales and helping people out. And I think that's great when you can help somebody out and you can help them figure out how to save money. In this case, it's a win. And knowing that you're doing right by them in an industry that it has some bad apples.
Yeah.
Every industry has bad
Yes.
apples, but again, in your world, like there's a lot of door-to-door guys. There's a lot of people, high-pressure salesmen
Yes.
trying to get that close. And again, it comes back to what we said earlier about not having enough leads in the funnel, and the top of the funnel not being able to, keep up. And that's where I think a lot of problems lie with sales guys.
Well, it's true, and a lot of the sales guys that are door to door, not to disparage them, but a lot of them are in their mid-20s. They don't have a business card. They jump out of a van. They promise the world. It's like, sometimes it gets like too good to be true. So, and I've had people that have had solar and they've had some challenges, and I ask them, how did you get solar? Oh, so this young man came to my house and knocked on my door. Have you ever called him again? He doesn't return phone calls. That doesn't happen with me. I'm going to return your call.
He's probably not in the game anymore.
Maybe not, hopefully not, because we don't need those type of people in our industry. I mean, the thing is, it's a people business.
Sure.
We have to look out for the homeowners, the clients. We have to look out for them because I look out for them for a couple reasons. Number one, because it's obvious you want to help them. Number two, I want referrals. And number three, I want Google reviews. So I have to earn that.
And
I'm fine with
also,
that.
I think from getting to know you, you're a man of your word. So you
Yes.
also want you have an integrity issue
Absolutely.
that you want to make sure is held up there.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the reviews and the referrals.
No, but
those are great add-ons, but it's
Yes.
your integrity that you
Yes.
care most about.
You stand by what you can do. And again, sometimes I'll have clients that say, hey, can you build the system bigger? I'm like, well, if I could, I would, but you have to understand there's certain guidelines we have to follow. So it's
Sure.
like, I'm not going to mislead you in any way. If I think there's, your design is not what I like, or it's not a cookie cutter, I'm going to reach out to my manager. What do you think? Is this somebody we can help? Yes or no?
Yep.
If he says yes, I got his blessing. We'll move forward. If he says no, I'm going to say, you know what? We're going to have to walk away with this because I can't give you the value. I can't stand behind this.
Yep.
And I don't want to do that.
That's awesome. That's really good that you have that integrity.
So I have to ask.
Yes.
If you could put solar on anybody's house, whose house would you put it on?
Solar on
Could be
anybody's
someone
house.
famous. Who would be that person?
Well, I'm going to switch gears for a second. So I do residential solar, but I have a partner that does commercial solar. So I would love a referral for anybody that owns an Amazon warehouse because they use a lot of electricity. They're big, and the funny part is a little off topic, but on commercial solar, the business owners can make money in addition to the incentives that they get as well.
The SREX.
Yes, SREX, the federal tax credit. So there's a lot of benefits to solar. And right now with your electric bill, you just pay a bill. It's one way. They give you electricity, you pay the bill. That's it. Oh, by the way, we'll charge you whatever we want. And sometimes I get funny with homeowners and I say, look, when you signed up for whichever electric company we just mentioned, did they tell you they're going to raise the rates whenever they want? Did they tell you they're still using fossil fuels, coal, and nuclear? Did they tell you that they don't do clean renewable energy like solar? So again, no, I just signed up and I got my electricity. Great. Okay, well, it's 2024. There's other ways to get electricity, and this is the most viable one. Again, if you qualify, it's not for everybody. If you qualify credit-wise and your house meets the standards, then we move forward.
So Amazon, that's a good one.
Yeah, anybody that uses 100,000 kilowatts a year, which sounds like a lot, but obviously, restaurants, bars, colleges, data centers, stadiums. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, they use clean renewable energy. They have solar panels and wind turbines on their building. So,
Are you running that one?
Unfortunately, not. I wasn't in solar back then. So that was back in 2004 that stadium opened. So I was not in solar at that point. I was still in mortgages back then.
So this was a great conversation. I'm glad you came in today. I'm glad that we fit the proximity to be within an hour of your location.
Oh, it was no problem. I thank you for the opportunity. I do want to give a quick plug to Abdel and Chris for Coastal Connections because that's how I met you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Great guys, great organization. They really.
What do you like better, Abdel or Chris?
Well, Abdel is big and he's a gorilla.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You get the reference. Yeah, he smiles and he's happy, but I don't want to get on that guy's bad side.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you better get to the gym in 2025.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, and shout out to the Coastal Connection guys. Those guys are great. Abdel has been on this podcast a few times.
Class act.
Chris has been on the podcast. And when they first started Coastal Connections, they used to do it at this table before they got too big. But they're excellent, great guys to do business with. As we wrap up, let people know where they can find you, either on your website, on social, your phone number, whatever you want to give.
Phone number is my cell. You can call me, text me, 609-802-6403. My website is thesolarguyusa.com. On Facebook, I have a Facebook business page, The Solar Guy of New Jersey. And I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
So,
All right.
look, real quick, I do have an incentive I do want to put out to the homeowners out there. Why not? End of the year, I know it sounds cheesy. If you do a lease or a cash purchase, I mean, certain restrictions apply, of course. We are giving away a 75-inch 4K smart TV and a $500 Amazon gift card. So if you are a homeowner in New Jersey and you go solar with me, these are some of the incentives, in addition to saving a lot of money. So that's
75-inch TV. That's
yes,
nice.
4K smart TV. So
Boom.
yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming on today, Albie, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.